The classroom lights dimmed, and the hum of the containment field filled the air like a heartbeat. 20 cadets, young recruits of the Interstellar Peace Academy, leaned forward in their seats as the reinforced door slid open. Behind the transparent plasma barrier, a creature towered, hunched and breathing heavily. Its skin was a lattice of scars, its eyes glowing like molten copper. The instructor's voice echoed through the chamber. Cadets, this is Subject V-17, captured from the Drath Expanse. A pure combat strain, bred for planetary war. Each of you will one day face creatures like this. Remember, they do not reason. They do not fear. They kill. A nervous murmur rippled through the class. Only one cadet didn't flinch, Arya Vale. She sat in the second row, hands folded neatly, eyes fixed on the beast. Arya had seen worse. The instructor gestured toward the control console. Observe its behavior when we simulate a threat. He pressed a switch. Inside the cell, automated turrets whirred to life, firing non-lethal plasma bursts toward the creature. It roared, loud enough to make the air vibrate, and threw itself against the barrier. Sparks exploded across the glass as the containment field flared, holding firm. Several cadets gasped. One dropped his datapad. But Arya leaned forward, because beneath the rage, beneath the sound of thunder and fury, she heard something else. A sound she hadn't heard in years. A word. Mother. Her breath caught. No one else reacted. The others were too busy gawking at the monster's display. But Arya heard it, clear, broken, desperate. The beast's copper eyes locked onto hers. And then it stopped. The roaring ceased. The creature stumbled backward, lowering its massive arms. The instructor frowned, looking at his readings. That's odd. It's showing a drop in aggression levels. Neural activity spiking in weight. Is it talking? Arya stood slowly. Sir, it's not attacking. It's trying to communicate. The instructor turned sharply. Cadet Vale, sit down. That's an apex predator, not a sentient being. But she couldn't look away. She had seen that face before. Not exactly the same, but close enough to twist her heart. It was the same species that had destroyed her homeworld. Years ago, Arya had been 10 when the Drath swarms descended upon her colony. Her father had died defending the evacuation ships. Her mother had been taken, vanished in the chaos. All Arya remembered was the image of one Drath soldier looking down at her as she hid beneath the wreckage. It had not killed her. It had turned and walked away. Everyone said she imagined it. That Drath had no mercy. But now, as the creature before her stared at her with those haunted copper eyes, she wasn't so sure. The instructor stepped closer to the control panel. Increasing voltage. Let's remind it who's in charge. Wait, Arya cried. He didn't. The voltage surged, sending blue arcs across the containment field. The beast convulsed, a sound like a wounded animal filling the room. And then it spoke. Let me out. Every cadet froze. The instructor staggered back. It can talk. No, whispered Arya, trembling. It can feel. Security arrived within minutes. The class was dismissed, but Arya didn't leave. She hid behind the observation deck until the guards left. When the lights dimmed for the night cycle, she crept toward the containment chamber. The beast sat slumped against the barrier, breathing raggedly. Its body was covered in burn marks from the voltage. She hesitated. You can understand me, can't you? A deep rumble answered her, more sigh than growl. You are not afraid. I should be, she admitted softly. You killed billions. I killed no one. Her brow furrowed. What do you mean? Drath, made for war. Not born. Grown. Commanded. Io refused. They caged me. She swallowed hard. You're saying you were punished for disobeying orders? The creature lifted its head. I remember a small one.
Crying. Hiding.
I did not kill her. Aria's pulse stopped. That was me. The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush the air from her lungs. The creature, this towering beast designed for war, bowed its head. I knew your eyes, it murmured. Same light. Aria pressed her palm to the glass.
Why?
Why did you spare me? Because I was born to destroy, but I wanted to choose. For the next week, she returned secretly every night. They spoke in fragments of language, hers clumsy, his broken, but meaning bridged the gap. He called himself Vorin. She brought him water, nutrient packs, and sometimes silence. She learned things the Academy never taught. That not all Drath were soldiers. Some were bred thinkers, philosophers, caretakers, until the genetic wars twisted them into weapons. Vorin was one of the last of the old kind. But then the rumors began. Someone had seen her near the holding bay. The instructor confronted her. You've been tampering with military property. He's not property, she said. Cadet Vale, you're suspended pending review. Do you have any idea what you've done? That thing is scheduled for dissection tomorrow. Her world tilted. Dissection? You're going to kill him? For science, he said coldly. We can learn from its physiology. Maybe prevent another war. Aria stood frozen as the security bots escorted her out. That night, she didn't go home. She went back. The corridor was dark, the hum of security drones distant. She used her Academy access card, modified by Vorin's whispered guidance, to override the lock. The containment chamber hissed open. Vorin lifted his head weakly. You came. They're going to kill you, she said, stepping closer. I'm getting you out. He shook his massive head. You will die. Maybe, she said, voice shaking. But I won't watch another innocent being murdered for existing. She typed furiously at the control console, lowering the plasma field. Alarms screamed through the facility. Guards shouted in the distance. The barrier flickered, then vanished. Vorin rose slowly, towering over her. For a heartbeat, she saw the fear in his eyes, the same fear the galaxy had always ascribed to monsters. Then, softly, he said, I will not run without you. Then let's go together. They fled through smoke and gunfire. Security turrets activated, and Vorin shielded her with his own body, plasma bolts tearing through his armor-like skin. They reached the outer hangar, but soldiers were already there, weapons trained. Stop, one shouted. Drop the cadet. Vorin turned to her, bleeding, his voice a rasp. You gave me a choice. I choose to protect. And before she could stop him, he charged. Explosions shook the walls. In the chaos, Aria leapt into a cargo shuttle and shouted, Vorin now. He stumbled inside, slamming the hatch just as the blast doors sealed. The shuttle roared to life, tearing into the night sky. Through the viewport, the Academy shrank beneath them. Vorin slumped beside her, fading fast. You are not afraid anymore. She gripped his hand. I never was. Then the galaxy has hope. They made it to the outer rim before the engines gave out. The shuttle crash-landed on a barren moon. When Aria woke, the stars were silent. Vorin was gone, but his handprint remained burned into the metal beside her, like a mark of promise. She buried him beneath the alien sand and looked toward the horizon. The Peace Academy would brand her traitor, but she didn't care. She had seen the truth with her own eyes. The monsters weren't always the ones behind the bars.